wait for it to kick me in. And you can go. You can share while you on your Facebook page. You go ahead and share.
Okay.
And we are live. Okay. So here we go. Sure. And hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chili Willy Podcast. I've been away for a while. It's been a couple of weeks due to the we have rainy season here for my viewers in America. So you don't understand. A couple of months out of the year, it's rainy season, and then what happens is sometimes your electricity go out or whatever, even if you pay your bills. So sometimes my electricity has been out, and because I have moved, um, though my okay my my connection's been out. But anyway, I am back. Thank you guys for tuning in. Those of you who are tuning in, and like I said, it's been a couple of weeks. And even on our A&C podcast, me and Andrew Campbell, we haven't really been doing anything since our last interview with Chris Van Leave It. I think that's his last name. Anyway, he's a very popular guy. So anyway, I'm just glad to be back. And tonight I have a special guest, another MWF official. He is the man. One of my good friends, one of my homies, Gus Global. So welcome, Gus. I'm gonna let you do a better intro to the people out there. But thank you for coming on, man. How you been?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you, Coach, for inviting me here, and to all the viewers out there, continue living life and being happy. Yeah, all is well with me. Everything has been well for the past 2 years now, and yeah, I hope I'll be able to share good times with you still.
Nice, good deal. So what you been up to, man? What you been? I haven't seen you. Woo! Like I haven't seen everyone else, man. It's been almost. It's been a year now. Actually,
Yes,
probably more
year and
than
a
a
half
year.
now.
About a year and a half now, man. What you been up to?
Yeah, outside wrestling, I'm handling different businesses, and as a consultant, a lot of companies now are in need of help of my services. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, I had to focus on the real estate thing, and everything's
Okay,
doing well now. Especially nowadays, it's online.
right. Hold on, Gus. For some reason I can't see you on my. I'm on the Facebook page. I can see you on my Zoom. So I want to make sure that when you're talking, that I can see your face. Um, also, not just mine. So to our viewers out there, let me know. Hit me in the comment if you can see Gus out there, Gary, because I just see myself right now. So I want to make sure that people see you also when we're talking. Maybe it's on my end. Maybe I need to go double check to make sure that it's working and all that good stuff. But yeah, so um, you have been just chilling at home or work, or have you been busy? What?
Yeah. Wait, hang on, coach. I'm checking on your page. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Most of the time, I have meetings left and right. Still. But I've been very busy, especially there are different time zones that I'm dealing with.
There we go.
Yeah.
I see you now.
Not
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, that's how it has been. And I have been trying to rethink over. like how we'll be able to help in the local scene. I did my some research with other
Hmm.
companies abroad, what how they are faring now in this time of
Hmm.
pandemic. Yeah, and the one good model that I saw the past year was with One FC, though it's not really wrestling.
Okay.
It's a fighting company. Yeah, but it's something that probably we can adapt to in the future.
What is it
So
called
yeah,
again?
that's what kept me
I'm
busy.
sorry.
The One FC. It's
FC. Okay.
one fighting championship. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay, okay. Yes. The MMA one championship fighting. Uh, yeah, they're really huge here in Asia. I'm curious to wonder why they're not getting a big buzz like in America. Maybe because they are we know that they're MMA, so maybe it would be a conflict between them, Bellator, PFL, So, but
Uh,
yeah, one championship fighting is awesome, man. They got some great fighters over there. Good shit. So, are you trying to get in with that, or is that just something that you just
yeah.
that's on your radar?
What's funny was I tried out for the apprentice. I sent my application. We heard it out. I
Hmm.
was going through the process actually. I was trying to get in touch with the Chatty City on Tong's team, and I really hope no that I'll be able to make it through the Apprentice Asia.
Okay.
Uh, some of the steps that I've been through, I learned a lot of things when it comes to running these kind of events.
Hmm.
Because you have to get through phases when you apply for the apprentice.
Okay.
And locally, they're also doing great. And yeah, unfortunately, I was able to make it to the top 12. So at least I
Really?
get to learn from it.
Okay. So like, what would be your position if you got the apprentice? I mean, what is it that you'll be doing there?
It's a competition, for aspiring people to become like it's like a show in the US back then. It's the Apprentice US before, which is Donald Trump is the will be your boss
Hmm.
for a certain period of weeks. Get to learn from him, and as you go through the process, there will be one winner, and the winner will have an executive position with his company. In the Asian version, you will have opportunity to become executive of one fighting championship.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Nice. Good shit, man. Now, do you have to leave the Philippines to do this, or are you able to compete while you're here in the Philippines?
Yeah, it's going on now. It's in Singapore, yeah, where the mother company is.
Right. Okay. Nice. Good luck to you, man. You need to um put it on. Is it on your page, your Facebook page, anything like that? At the end of this interview and all that stuff, man, you give a shout out to how people can
Mhm.
find you and all that good stuff, and maybe help you out, both for you get sponsors, whatever it is that you need, so that you can win this thing, man. Because you need to win this, brother. You need to win this, and you need to go to one championship fighting, and then you need to represent, and then you need to get like MWF in it. You know what I mean? You need to get my promotion in there, which is called Crima Promotion. So yeah, you need to do all that good stuff, man. We counting on you.
Yeah, in some ways, when they get here in the Philippines, because we have two participants right now representing
Mm.
Philippines. Yeah, I
Oh,
hope we
okay.
can network out. Time will come that after this pandemic, full live shows will be available then again, and I hope I can do so much. I'll get in touch with their program coordinators.
Nice, nice. So now let's get into this. When I met you, you were in MWF. What is your position at MWF?
Oh wow. I apologize for laughing, but I'm trying to get loose nowadays. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's all started with just friendship. coach. I was friends with those two promoters, Mr. Lucha and also
Okay.
Robin Sane.
Right.
And next thing
Robin
we found
saying, "What's
out,
up?" Sid Parker, he's watching. He's actually watching. What's going on? What's going on, Sid Parker?
yeah. So at first, I just really wanted to help. We were friends since high school, and I was surprised. You know what? This is really quite interesting part because at first I didn't know that they were starting something. They were planning something, and I was trying to get research one day. Like, hey, I want to start a wrestling company in the Philippines. And the first
Mhm.
person I saw online was Yusuf, as
Right.
classical Brian Leo, and I got inspired by him actually. And
Okay.
later on, the same night that I was thinking about this thing, I saw Mr. Lucha posting something on his personal Facebook wall that they are coming up with something. And we had conversation, as a friend. I was just asking out um, what are their plans are. And then later on, I started financing this campaign, and we tried to get into events, some small events, recruit some people, and it's something that I was proud of in a way because we were able to produce some young aspiring wrestlers that time, in the likes
Okay.
of Hanselo Silva, um, uh, Frankie 13 before he
Right.
transferred to us, also Moises Liwanag
Mhm.
and Morgan Vaughn.
Okay.
And it started from there. And then when it came to a time that Veronica wanted something bigger, we supported her with that. And Derek went in, and they decided to put me as commissioner.
Okay. Nice. But hold on, before you continue, we got some people watching. We got my friend Marcel watching from here in Angeles and Parker, Robin Sane. We got CJ Reyes, one of our good workers there, good talent there. And then we got Rolando, and then we got the one and only. I call him. Uh, you probably know him as Sir Massage. All right, Chuck Summer.
Oh,
I'm gonna, but I'm gonna call him Papa Massage because he's a grandfather now. Congratulations
oh,
to his
congratulations.
family, to his son. He's watching all the way from New Jersey, actually my old hometown. So actually my old home state, not town, but the Garden City, the Garden State. So anyway, go ahead. So go ahead and finish what you were saying, brother.
Yeah, before we continue, I would just like to greet everyone who watching this right now. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Sir Massage, Charlie.
Massage.
Um, yeah, congratulations for having a grandkid. I aspire to have to be one day. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Yeah. So now, when you got into MWF, which is Manila Wrestling Federation, for those of you who don't know, hopefully we're gonna have the I call him the chairman of the board, the CEO, this weekend, Tariq, brother Tariq, coming on. I hope he can come on and you know grace me with his presence here. We got Willie G. Will Gatlin in the house. Yo, for you guys who don't know who Willie G is, good friend of mine, wrestler from North Carolina. He also does the Fighting God podcast with his cousin Nico Gatlin. You guys are awesome, so you guys check him out. Also got Ace Victor in the house. Yo, what's up, Ace? But yeah, so Gus, you got inside. You're working with Manila Wrestling Federation. Now, are you a at that time when you started, you're trying to be a wrestler, or I mean, what? Walk us through what happened.
All right. Admittedly, I always aspired to become a wrestler since I was a kid. If there's one job in the world that I want to do, that's to become a wrestler. And so I was a bit shocked when I learned that Robin Zane and Mr. Lucha were already training for a few years back then. And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. When I got in, I thought that wrestling is gonna be that easy, but I was wrong. And I
Mhm.
found out that hey, um, these two people made me realize that, Gus, there's more about wrestling that you can do excitingly, that you can contribute with the company, and that's not being a wrestler. If you want, you can
Right.
train for your personal health. You can do some job or some work inside the ring, but we
Mhm.
want you to do what you do best, and that's how you communicate with people. So I decided to learn about more of the everything about wrestling, not just a point of view of a fan, but what the business is really all about. And that's what really I'm grateful for my time working with these people, is that I learned the deep things about the entirety of this wrestling world.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Got Katrina watching. Got them taters. That's my girl, y'all. That's my whole girl, Katrina. Anyway, so Gus, what is your background though? I mean, what is your professional background outside of wrestling? What is your background?
Okay, at that time I was still a full-time life coach. I get to speak into colleges, some schools, some organization, and then later on, my business got a little bit uh, away. In a way, it became bigger.
Hmm.
I became a full-time consultant. So that's what I do right now. I develop organizations, I train people, and I market products and make companies visible.
Okay, so I always wanted to ask you what what is a life coach? What is that?
Well, okay, I will be answering that on how I see it now, and
Okay.
I'll be sharing with you how I saw it before. Because I would say that throughout the years, I had a I got a glimpse of different life coaches in different environments, in different countries. So a life coach will always have a different way of serving people. It's not always the same thing for everyone. But to me, this is how I see it nowadays. It's really about being humble enough to see how will you be able to relate to every people, to everyone
Okay.
out there. You have to understand what people are going through. And in most cases, this is for free. You do this out of your own love, out of your own empathy and compassion. And sometimes I thought like, wow, being a life coach is not really a profession at all. It's something that you do as a lifestyle. And as I came across the path of different people, different walks of life, I saw that, wow, I'm not even good enough to do this. And once you understand that, one of my mentors told me that once you get to understand that it's not something to brag about, it's not something um, that this is not your profession, that's your way for you to make profit, then there's a time that you can call yourself as a life coach. And I hope I'll get there one day. Maybe not now.
So, mhm. but so okay, a life coach. So because I'm very interested in this. I always wanted to ask you about this. Never got a chance really to sit down and talk to you about being a life coach. So a life coach is basically like a motivational speaker, like a Tony Roberts and Les Brown type of thing.
Yes, in a way, you will be able to do that. If it's something that you decide to do. Sometimes I get invited also to speak in corporate events, in live meetings, sometimes in small groups, in your church at times. Yeah, so
Hmm.
it's very similar to that, though um, you have a lot of ways to, like Tony Robbins is into corporate and business. I myself decided to become a life coach when it comes to humility. And um, it's so hard, coach, because it's really hard to be humble, especially from a guy like me, right? So
Right.
it's like acknowledging your faults, your
Hmm.
mishaps, your weaknesses, and be able to show everyone how vulnerable you are. So that's how I see it.
Okay, hold on there. My friend Will Gelling's asking. He's not familiar with you, uh, because you, even though we wrestle here in the Philippines, things are put on YouTube and people follow you. You know, so this goes out to everyone. Uh, People actually see your matches. Don't think that people don't see who you are or what you're doing. So always, try to highlight your matches or whatever. But anyway, he wanted to know who you are and where can he find your matches or where can he see your matches. So I would probably say to Will that you're more so like a manager, not really a wrestler yet. You don't really have any matches on YouTube or anything like that. But you do have like
So we have
your
though.
your managerial skills and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, but we have a match, right? Like it's a tag team match. You and
Ah,
I.
yes. You
Yeah.
mean Blackzilla? You mean
Yeah, Black.
Blackzilla? Oh
Sorry,
yes. Woo! Woo! Will Gatling, if you hear this, I don't know where you. I haven't even seen this thing. I haven't even seen it myself.
I
Um,
know, I know.
you have to you have to upload it or something and send it to me, and I'll send it to my friends, or we put it out there on our pages or whatever. But anyway, we got Ronald. He's on. We got Edgar, all of them. So getting back, your life being a life coach, is this something that you go to class for, you go to school, um or do you just wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to be a freaking life coach, I'm just gonna get out here and start talking to people, you know what I mean? If I wanted to be a life coach, how could Chili Willie get out here, well, not Chili Willie, how could William Jones get out here and be a life coach?
Right. It started with me aspiring to become a pastor. Actually, uh, I was in a church undergoing theology classes with one of the
Okay.
schools here in the Philippines. And one day, as you have described it, I just woke up one day and a person told me that, hey, you are a life coach. And I said, so what is this all about? And I didn't know that what I was doing is in its
Mm-hmm.
entirety is being a life coach already. So one of my greatest mentors, his name is Neil Season, um, asked me to just talk in the class and to see where we can go.
Mm-hmm.
And we have both decided for me to undergo. Yeah, there will be life coaching seminars and also certifications. It's really important, and I got through all of those. When I got my certification as a life coach, then
Mm-hmm.
I shift from schools and churches to corporate arena, and yeah,
Mm.
that's how you become one.
So hold on. You said a certificate. So now, so evidently there's a place and there's a thing online I can just go and try to. Is it a seminar, or I mean, do I just go online and fill out this application and say I'm a life coach? I mean, how difficult or how easy is it?
It's difficult in a way that you will have to
Hello,
expose yourself.
hello.
Yes, coach, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Froze up there. Anyway, I was asking the question. I don't know if you heard my question. I
Mhm.
said you said there's a certificate. So um, my question was, is it, can I go online and fill out and do the course online, or do I have to sit in a seminar setting, and listen to people and go from there? I mean, like, what type of course is it?
All right. It's difficult in a way that you will expose yourself to yourself. It's really
Okay.
exposing everything about you to yourself, and that's really hard because if your ego is bigger, then it's really hard to overcome yourself. So that's the first
Okay.
step. And then there are two ways of acquiring this certification. One is the objective way is correct. You have to undergo classes. You can find the school, but I suggest in the Philippines, there are only two schools. You can look for
Oh, really?
OCCI
Okay.
or the LEAP program. So they are the ones who can issue your certificate. And
Mm.
really, it's you will get it's years of getting to understand how really life is and how you interact with others. And the second
Okay.
way is um, the personal way. Like there are some life coaches out there who are gurus who never had
Mhm.
certifications at all, yet they just found their inner core belief system and they became who they are right now simply because people did not follow their words. The people did not
Mhm.
follow their theories about life, but
Right.
what they saw is really that kind of life is something that other people would want to have. So those are the two
Mm.
ways.
How lucrative is this business of being a life coach? Like, you can go in and you can charge Filipino money, Filipino pesos, what, 500 pesos, 1,000 pesos per set per conference, or how does it work like that, or do you do it just like individually?
I never ask for like a charge or a fee for my
Mhm.
services that I run, except if it's a corporate thing. Like I have to set up a sales team or I have
Ah, okay.
to manage their marketing and HR, help them on their processes.
Right.
But it's lucrative for people who really go and take psychology as their major in
Mm.
some colleges or universities, and then get to a life coaching school. Yes, that will
Mhm.
be really lucrative. But
Wow.
there are some people who like I would give you an example. No, it's his name is also Gary. It's Gary Vaynerchuk. He's not. Um, he doesn't claim to be a life coach. He
Mhm.
doesn't even charge for his talks or his seminars. Yet he has
Okay.
a huge following, and the way he earns is through social media because he has like millions of followers. So it really depends on the track that you will be
Wow.
taking up.
Yeah, because I've seen some people, just I've not really dug into it, but I've come across some people online that like do motivational type speaking online, and then you look down at the numbers and their followers are like, 5, 10, and 15,000, people. I'm like, yo, it's like they're not. I mean, to me, it's like they're just talking like, just building people up, building you up as a person, as a human, like a law of attraction type of thing. I'm kind of into that, but I don't have the nerve to get up and just get out there and start. I guess it's like cutting a promo, I guess, in wrestling. You know what I mean? But you really got to believe in what you're saying. It's almost like being a preacher in church. Like my brother, he's a preacher, my pastor actually. My mom's a pastor, my father's a minister. And they come from a spiritual side of it. You know what I mean? And I guess you can also put that in it also, right?
You know what, Coach? Actually, you're doing it already. Like to all the viewers out there, I would like to
Mm-hmm.
personally thank Coach Chili right here because we came from miles away, right? You came from the United
Mm-hmm.
States, went here to the Philippines, and if only you know how you were able to make an impact into my life and the people around us, then you would be able to say that you're more than a life coach. So I thank you for that, Coach Shirley.
Right. Oh, I appreciate it. I want to send out a big shout out to I call her my auntie in Burgos, Pangasinan. It's Mac. She's watching, and Edgar says that Coach Gus is a manager of Rex Lauer before. He dropped bombs on his promos. Yes, you do. You're very good at promo. Is that the reason why you're good in your promos? Is because you're a life coach, or you think that helped you out?
In a way, I think, yeah, in a way. Ever since I was a kid, even in school, they would say, like, when I say something, it, they have a different, you know, idea of what I'm portraying to say. Like, it's supposed to be like a glass of water, but when I start to say something about a glass of water, it becomes a magical water. So I guess
Right.
it has something to do with the natural things that, it's something that's innate. I never really got to learn about it, how to speak well. It's just one day, then people were telling me that you can be a good coach or a good speaker.
Nice. And so is that where Gus Global? What is Gus Global? I know you had like and walk us through, because I know you promoted your own wrestling show at the Taft arena there in Manila. Uh, and that was a good show. It was a really good show. It took forever to get started, but it was a good damn show. So tell but and tell us, tell everyone, how did you is that a promotion that's going to continue on after this pandemic, or what, or was that just like a one-time thing?
Okay, it was just my birthday that time, so I wanted to spend my birthday, with the wrestling event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also want to thank you for that because without you, I wouldn't be able to get that place.
No
You know,
doubt.
find ideas, right? Yeah. So the plan that time was really to. It's too narcissistic of me to say this, but I wanted to get everyone on board, like at least once in a year, have the sense of unity, of love
Right.
and respect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what really mattered to me that time. I wasn't really after, promoting a show to make money and this stuff. I just really wanted kids to see it, like to get, because one day,
Mm-hmm.
some of those kids would aspire to become a wrestler. We don't know.
Right. Right. That's right.
So,
Exactly.
so to me, it's more of a community development way kind of thing. And I want
Mm-hmm.
everyone to share with the impact we're gonna bring to the lives of young Filipinos.
Okay. Big Willie, he got to get out, man. It's morning time there in America, so he's it's probably on his way to work and getting his kids and all that stuff. Thanks for watching, Will. Love you, brother. Be safe, brother, out there. Um, yeah, I saw that you had your because I wanted to do my own promotion there too, but at the time my wife she was sick and everything. Uh, but moving forward, is that something you think that you're gonna try to continue to do, or like I said, is it just a one time thing? Because it was good. It was we had once the show got started, I mean we had a hell of a time, and it was fun.
Yeah, in the future, yes, I really pray and hope that we can come up with new talent, with new people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, in the future, same with you, right? We were talking about this, like, why not we teach kids or not really young adults, to
Right.
get the
Mm-hmm.
basics of wrestling and probably put something for them with their families and
Right.
make a spark here in the Philippines once again. Yeah, because also, coach, with my journey, applying for the apprentice,
Mm-hmm.
I saw the difference of how big companies, big MMA or wrestling promotions compared to other state wrestling companies. So I really had to get the research, and there are two kinds of promotions that would excel. And first is if you have a big budget, same as
Mm-hmm.
with Chatri, Sit Tong, because when he started one fighting championship, he really in Philippine peso, he had like 6 million peso already to start with. So he really tried to do different businesses like stock market, become
Right.
also a consultant for companies before he started
Mm-hmm.
his passion, which is MMA. While um, we got into this thing when we were starting with Miles and Sim that time is to start small. Like have a small show with few people, you get on the word
Yes.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
Later on you will
Yes.
be meeting some network people, people in the media who will be interested in the kind of work you have. And what's
Right.
important with wrestling abroad, specifically in the United States where you come from, is they invest on young talents. And
Mm-hmm. Right.
with these young talents, you can never go wrong because
Mm-hmm.
it's they have a long way ahead of them. So
Right.
to me, I hope this will not be taken against me about what I'm going to say. But we started kind of late here in the Philippines in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, let's hope for the best in the future. We're gonna win against this thing, and hopefully there will be more people who would aspire to become like the wrestlers we once had, like Robin Sane,
Yeah.
such a great athlete. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's don't I hear a lot of you guys say you guys started late. Actually, you guys started at a good time. All you guys here in the Philippines that are wrestling or in the business of wrestling, you're in your 20s. Some of you guys are in like your mid 20s, early 20s. Very few of you guys are in your late 20s, maybe 30s. Um, and so that's a good time to be in it. That's a really really a good time to be in it. You know, you don't want to be in it if you're too young, and you don't want to be like 50 something like me. Just trying to start. You know what I mean? So you guys are actually you got into wrestling and you did this thing started back in 2014 at the right time, and now um, it's a reset time. This whole pandemic thing is reset, and if you're not if you're in this game of pro wrestling or entertainment, whatever it is that you're into, and you're not honing your skills while this time is now, while you're just not doing anything, when the light goes green for things to open up and things to start back, you're gonna be left behind. So it would behoove everyone to you know continue to stay in shape. You know,
Yeah.
continue to work on your promos. You know what I mean? Continue to get out and network. Find your talent. It might not be just wrestling. It might be something like you doing, like your motivational speaking.
Mm.
That's to me, that's a talent. That not everyone has, and so you're able to go into a corporate office, you know, and negotiate, talk, or whatever, certain things where a lot of us probably can't do that. So, um, those are some of the things, and those, if you put those things and you connect with other guys, other girls, in the business of wrestling, man, it could grow. It can definitely grow. If you have a positive mind and you want to get this thing out, get it out there and everything. But now's the time, because I don't think this thing's gonna last forever. They can't. The thing about this coronavirus thing, all over the world has to get on board and say, okay, we gotta live with this thing. You know what I mean? Come hell hot water, we gotta live with it. You know what I mean? It's gonna be here. It's like AIDS. It's like cancer. It's like the flu. I don't care if you get your shot, if you don't get your shot. You know what I mean? We gotta
Yeah.
live with this coronavirus thing. Don't care if it's man made or who made it or whatever. It's here now. I don't think it's going away. They're coming up with all kind of stuff. So, but the world needs to, like time. Time keeps going. So we gotta go. So eventually, I think, man, the borders are going to open back up. I think business is going to open back up. And if you ain't ready, you're going to be lost in the shuffle. You know what I'm saying? So, I like I said, I think you guys are you're at the right time when it comes to pro wrestling, man, and getting it all together. My question to you also now is, moving forward with MWF, um, what direction do you think it should be going in?
Okay. I can speak in behalf of the MWF and its management right now. But me personally, um, in a way, there's a spoke in the wheel, but I think it will continue turning, and it's really about good timing. Um, as you have said, you were always telling me, coach, it's all about networking. So it's really a good opportunity for me to network with individuals who wants their brands to be seen in a platform such as wrestling. Because if you would only see the biggest sport in the Philippines is basketball, and those sponsors just come left and right, right?
Right.
And whenever I speak to a company, like they want to have a media mileage, all they ask me is, "Do you have basketball team?" And
Mm.
in our business. That's what we do. Like we talk to some, championship level basketball teams out there in the professional league, and they're willing to put money, right? So I want
Mm.
wrestling to be like that in the future. Like it's something that people are willing to give sponsorship to because it's something that makes a difference in our world of sports.
Cool.
So
I got
yeah,
hold on. I got my man Stu from the UK is watching all the way from the UK. He's watching you be Gus Global. Continue, my brother.
yes, yeah, and uh, we have a common goal. When we were kids with the other wrestlers that I work with, is we want wrestling to be respected in the Philippines, in our nation.
Mm-hmm.
If you would ask me, coach, uh, it's in the Philippines they view wrestling differently. Trust me.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah, and we want in a way to change that. We want people to see it like it's something that we believed in since we were young, and
Mm-hmm.
we want them to understand what is this all about. So
Yeah.
yeah, and there are lots of ways to do that. One thing's for sure, I firmly believe that it's like I've said earlier, it's all about unity. When all our minds would go in a specific direction and decide that, hey, we want this promotion to to be somehow in the limelight or in the spotlight in the entire world of
Right.
wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So I don't believe that wrestling in the Philippines is saturated. So we haven't even
Hey,
started it. Yeah.
just by listening to what you just said, and then I think about what everyone has said throughout doing the podcast, and then looking back since I've been here 2015, and do you think? Well, not do you think, but how can I say this? The new you guys are the new wave of professional wrestlers because there was wrestling back in the 80s, right? Do you think after this pandemic, do you think that it would be a smart move for some of you guys to go and connect with some of the older guys who've done it before? Because those guys done it, and they've done it in a bigger way than you guys have done it here. Now, even you guys have social media, but you guys don't have television. So the thing is, and even though your wrestling might be better when it comes to certain moves, of course, the training a little bit, uh, but do you think you guys can learn from people like RJ, Mr. RJ, who put this on television and got it on
Mm.
television? Um, do you guys think that maybe that's something that just something to think about? You know what I mean? It's just coming to me now
Okay.
because you can learn. We can all learn from our elders, right? And so reaching out to the older generation, maybe they know some things that we don't know. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They know some politicians that you don't know. They've been around. It's just not about wrestling
I
and not
know.
and being having the great moves and being having all these followers. It's about politics also. It's about trying to get a time slot on television for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? When you got a basketball game going on, volleyball game going on, you know, um, how did RJ do it back then? You see what I'm saying? What ways what ways can he help the new generation now? You know what I mean? Who can he talk to? I'm quite sure he's still got a lot of clout when it comes to the television industry. You see what I'm saying? And so
Yes.
where a lot of you guys are coming in at, and you're thinking, well, we don't need to talk to older guys or what. Not saying you. I'm just saying maybe some of the younger guys, like that. They're probably saying we don't need to connect with the older guys because we got internet now, we got YouTube, and we got yeah, you do, but the average person maybe don't have well, maybe now they do, but I'm just saying, if you wanted, TV's still the big dog now. It's still the big dog. You know what I mean? Even though you got the internet, TV is still the big dog. And in order to have your product really get out there, it needs to be seen on television. In order for pro wrestling in the Philippines to grow, it has to be seen on television. That's my thought. You see what I'm saying? Whether it's on
Yes, coach.
on cable access, whether it's on a cable access channel or something, And I'm telling you this because you have more access and more leadership when it comes to talking to corporate people. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But whoever is listening out there that's young, that's in the wrestling world in the Philippines, why not? Why not try to connect with the older generation or someone and say, hey, how can we do this? How can and see, to me, I think that's bridging, that's helping. Because right now it's like this. You see, the old generation is like over here. But if you can somehow get that bridge and connect, now you got wrestling in the Philippines again. You know what I mean? Because they had it on television in the 90s, early 90s, I think it was. What do you think about that?
Yes. I'm certain that there's a way to predict the future, and that's by learning from people. Yeah, as you have said, from the past generations, what have they done best to make it grow, to make it work?
Right.
Perhaps not in the Philippines, but in other countries, but in a way we could apply it here and apply it in the demographics that we have here with the kind of culture we have in the Philippines. Um, I also believe that we can connect with other promotions out there. Like there's tons of promotions out there. And, Coach, speaking about politics, I really believe that we can stop this politicizing thing just in the local, right? Like
Right.
we can go ahead, like me myself, I could just write an email to Teddy Biasi, ask for some
Mm,
things, like honest questions, comment on his podcast, or buy his book,
hmm
read articles about him. Of course, not 100% of the things you see online are real. Some of it
Right.
were twisted, were tweaked, but you get to, it's like you're eating fish. You have to get the meat, right?
Right.
What works for you? What do you think? You have to do it with a positive mind approach. Like, hey, what are the things that would work here in the Philippines? Those that
hmm
will not, I'll throw it away. And
Right.
it's up to me now to persuade the local people, like, hey guys, it's up to you if you would listen to me, but here's what I've learned. It's not
hmm
necessarily I'll be the one because coach, there's a lot of smart people out there who are fans of local wrestling who can give
Right.
us some insight, who can share things that they have learned in the past, but sometimes admittedly we fail to listen. We have
Yes.
to listen to the fans as well because they know. And
Right.
it's something that we can incorporate about what we do. It's something that
hmm
they want to see us do because to them, it's not really about them making money. It's not about them becoming famous for it. It's just something that hey, I hope one day I could see this in the local
hmm
scene, right? And
Yes.
of course, so when it comes to social media and the television, in the Philippines, Philippines is still in television is still in the game. Like
Yes.
in a way, we really have to put content out there But of course, like 70-80% of people are into social media. Those who doesn't
Yes.
have cable channels, they
Hmm.
choose to use their phones, watch online news, online, all kinds of stuff online. And
Right.
basing it on the model that I saw with One FC. I'm sorry for keeping saying One FC, but I've learned a lot from that company. Is that
Right.
someone has to make a conscious effort financially. Like it's something that I could just waste. Like, hey, I got 5 million peso. I'll just buy a TV slot there, maybe a
Hmm.
channel that's not known, pay them like 5 million bucks for me to run 3 months of wrestling in one channel. Who knows,
Hmm.
right? If there's
Right.
that someone who's willing to put that money, then we're in the game. But
Yeah.
with the resources that we have, it's really about starting small, like put it somewhere in the provinces, like start small shows every state. In the US it's state, right? But here provinces, every province, go to a school, make like a
Hmm.
1 hour show in the school for free, you
Right.
know, and
Right.
someone will sign up, talk to you online, you have followers. So it's a really a mixture of both. So there's really a lot
Right.
of ways of making the scene grow here. And lastly, like JDL and Ken Warren is doing right now.
Hmm.
They might not know, but I'm actually following some things that's going in the ASEAN world.
Hmm.
I don't believe that because there's people here locally who told me like, Gus, it's better to make it big first here in the Philippines before going abroad. But I would think that right now it's not entirely true.
Hmm.
Like we could start from somewhere, like go to Thailand, go to SPW,
Exactly. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Or in a way, like there's Greg in the Australia, like willing to, to train people for free. Just go to Australia and have your visa and your plane ticket. You can stay with
Hmm.
him for some months. Or even you, like we
Hmm.
could get in touch with you from time to time. It's really an extensive process, coach. I really believe that it's a long process, and
Yes.
it doesn't take one man to do it. It's really an
No.
entire crowd of people who have one objective with respect for each other, who believes in what they do, and we will become success. Maybe not now, maybe not today,
Hmm.
but let's still
Right.
hope that in the future it will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. You start like you said with baby steps, and like you said, 80%, mostly probably 80-70% of the people do use the cell phone, computer, for their information, and yes, that is where it should be. Every show that you run that you do, whether it's out in the province, at a high school, gymnasium, a bar, it should be put online. Every show, you know what I mean? And then you have those small shows, and then maybe at the end of the year you have a big show. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, you're right. You absolutely right. You have to start out small. You have to you really, everyone has to be a part of it. You know what I mean? It's not just one company. It's not just one or two individuals. It should be a collective thing. You know what I mean? Because you're all Filipinos. You know what I mean? And it's not and it all helps and represents you all. So um, that's the only way you're gonna make it. That's the only way. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's not about you saying, people saying, "Oh, well, I got to be big enough so that I can go to the WWE or AEW. I got to be good enough to do that." No, you could be that superstar here. You know what I mean? You could be that Stone Cold here, that Rock here, that
yeah,
Roman Reigns here. You know what I mean? Let them come search for you. You don't go search for them. You know what I mean? The company, the wrestling scene, you know, people will come here searching like they did before. And the thing is, if you all work together, put it together, put the resources together, in different areas, because not everyone's going to be able to wrestle, and everyone that wrestles is not going to make it. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? But you may have people that are in. graphic design, uh, like you, or you into and how you generate and negotiate with different companies. So all those things, those talents, you got to find, and this is now is the time to find out what your talent is. You know what I mean? It's not just everyone's not going to be a wrestler, and that's just just how it is. I look like you said. I see JDL and I see Ken Warren. They're on their games. They're playing and they're making their, they're finding their thing. They're finding their way outside of wrestling. They're
Yeah.
not the only ones. There are other people. So even me with this podcasting, I don't know a lot about it, but I'm just out here just having fun with it. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. We all have to find what works. But if we all have the same goal, the common goal, that's to make Philippine wrestling be known, be seen. It could grow, man. I'm telling you, because I mean, you got Singapore, you got Vietnam, you got Thailand now.
Asia.
They got wrestling. Malaysia. Of course, you got Japan.
Of course,
So
right?
China. So I mean, why not Philippines? Why not? We're right there. It's right there in the smack dab. Boom. But
And also, coach, it's something that we have to extensively do. Like, in the way I see it, in a business standpoint, like you cannot just expect people, everyone to just come to you here in the Philippines. But what you can do is instead reach out to some places, some areas,
hmm
put your shows out there,
hmm
and they want you to come back. They pay you more. Because right now we're tilling the ground. We're tilling the
right.
ground right now, and uh, there must be people. Sorry for this. I really apologize. But people in the local scene are still undecided about this. That's the way I saw it. Like
hmm
there has to be a group of people who will really decide that, hey, this is
Yeah.
something that I want to do for the rest of my life, and I won't stop until we reach it.
Right.
So this is
Right.
the way I see it.
Yeah, because people, the people here, a lot of the young guys that I've seen and the young girls wrestling, I think they thought, a lot of them thought that wrestling would make them a living, where they could stop their daytime job and wrestle. That's what they thought when they got it. I know some of the guys were in AOW thought that, this is what I'm going to do, um, but it's a process. You know what I mean? And in order for that to happen, you have to have a wrestling scene. Wrestling has to be going on almost 24/7 here. You know what I mean? It has to be shows going on all the time in order for you to make a living off of wrestling, not just wrestling one time a month, at a
Mm-hmm.
show, and in order for that to happen here in the Philippines, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot. You know what I mean? Because you gotta have the resources, you gotta have the manpower, the money, and the fans gotta come.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work to be done, but you at ground zero. We're at ground zero, and now we're definitely back at ground zero because you're at reset now, man. It's like before you were at ground zero starting 2014. You went from there, you got here. Now this pandemic just closed everything. Now you got to start back up. Everyone got to start back up, and no one's gonna. Every company now here in the Philippines have changed since the pandemic.
Yes.
You know, different personnel. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But it's exciting, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. And a lot of people gonna have a lot of ring rust. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
but it'll be fun. And so, we just have to get ready for it. But yeah. So I'm so glad that you came on and shared your experiences and let the people know what was going on with Gus Global, what he's doing, and all that good stuff. So before we close out, where can people find you?
Okay, so everyone out there, especially those people who are about to watch this episode, you can catch me on fb.com/Coach Gus Now. You can look for my page. It's called Coach Gus Daily. And you can search about our company, The Answer Philippines, and also LNL Properties. And you can also watch me on YouTube. Just search there my name, find me on Facebook, and there's a lot of content out there for you. And yeah, just some few words I want to say before we end this. Just
Yes, go ahead.
be nice to each other. Just love one another. Be positive, but not in COVID, and be humble and live life. God bless you all.
No doubt. Thank you very, 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 very much, Gus, my man. You definitely got to come to Angeles, man. We got to hang out again. You know what I mean? So, we had a good
Coach,
time meeting you.
by
Yeah.
the way, I'll go there on July 9th because I have
Ju-
something to do there.
July
So I'll
9th.
visit you.
Okay. Yes, definitely, definitely. If I'm here, if I'm not in Pangasinan, if I'm here, definitely, man, definitely let me know when you come in and how long you're gonna be around and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, we gotta chop this up again and do this again, man, and get updates and
Of course.
everything, and keep it going, and just keep the motivation coming, man. We can never get enough motivation. You know what I mean? And I would like to hear some of your more your motivational speeches. Maybe you get online and just start talking, motivate people. You know what I mean? You motivate me. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things I really wanted to get into. Was I did one time I was invited to no, actually two times. But right when I came back from Iraq and I was in OVW, and then
Mhm.
I got canned from the WWE. Um, One of my high school classmates, she was a teacher, and she invited me to go speak at her school, um, and for twice, speaking to children, teenage children is hard, man. That was like the hardest, probably one of the hardest things I could do because you got to keep their attention. Their attention span is like this short.
Oh yeah.
So once you get
Uh-huh.
in there, once you get up there and say your name, they're like, okay, next. So I'm sitting there talking for 30, 40 minutes, and it's like, what do I say? But I really learned from that, and so but I never done it again. I never got back up to do public speaking, and it to me is exciting to do it. It's scary, but you can help someone as well as help yourself while you're doing it because you never know who you reach. Never know who you reach, and yeah, that's a good thing that you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm going to talk
coach.
to you more about that. I'm definitely
Yeah,
going to
and
talk to you more about that.
we owe this to the world, and that's why we have to do it because we have an
Yes.
obligation to give people something to live for. And
Hmm.
yeah, coach. And again, I thank you also for imparting some knowledge and learning to us. Yeah, you really made an impact. You're a legend already here.
Yeah, you too, brother. I really appreciate it, and thank you for coming on, Gus. And man, I miss you, man. Love you, brother. Be good, be safe, and tell your
Right.
family, your mom, your sister, say hello. All right,
All right,
brother. Take
coach.
care.
Take care, everyone.